Hello and welcome back to another gig log. This is Nate within the Mix Light and Sound. And today we are doing a private party for, it's a work event, I believe is what I've been led, but working with one of our friend musicians who we work with from time to time, got us into this show. So the venue we're working in is a distillery. My first time working in this location. But looking at pictures online, it looks like they have a pretty large event hall. So we're going to be using the typical rig today, except instead of the Yamaha 12s, we have our JBL 118s, the PRXs. They're 618 XLFs. And two reasons we're using this. One, it looks like a bigger room, and I think I'm going to want some of that extra low end. But also, we had a gig last night that we used them at, so it was just easier to leave them in the truck than shuffle things around. So we'll be bringing those into the event. We have some basic wash lighting that we're setting up as well. We'll be using our Meyer X40s. And then from there, we'll kind of get an idea of what else we might need to supplement. Shouldn't be anything else needed as far as front of house, but we'll have a five-piece acoustic guitar, vocals, bass, keys and vocals, and a guest saxophone player in addition to a drum kit. So we'll be setting up for those. We're going to have 4 wedges across the front. We'll have a 5th wedge in the back by the drums. And we're using our new-ish bar rig, which you may have seen in the previous video, which consists of the Behringer wing rack, which has been working out very nicely. And we'll be using that rack. We'll be using our wireless. So with that, we're going to try and get as much video as we can here. Again, first time at this venue, so we'll see how everything goes. Stay tuned.
All right, so here's the event area, a little stage section. And then here is the area that we're covering. Probably could have gotten away with the Yamaha 12s, but it is what it is. And these are the main doors we're going to be loading into. So a little challenge that wasn't evident in the pictures is that the stage area is domed here. So that should be interesting for monitors, number one, but for our lights, we can't get them up as high as we want. So we're adapting a little bit. We're going to have the lights washing from the sides here. And then we have, of course, our front bars here as tight as we can. Keep everything somewhat clustered onto the stage. And then for our middle part that we were going to put up, we're just going to ground stack that. So hopefully that wouldn't be in the drummer's way. Maybe we'll get it to shine up on the walls there, or shine through the drummer from behind. All right, so we managed to snag ourselves a little front of house spot here, so we're able to put out our Waves Fit controller, again using Nixon Station, and not too bad of a line of sight here. The drummer has arrived, so he's setting up, and you can see we have our lights set up using our Wolf Mix controller. And more to come. We'll hook in the band as they come in here. I want to see how they lay themselves out. All right, so the crowd's slowly starting to come in. We got sound checked, so we're already there. What we end up running on stage is we have keys, we got lead guitar, we got an acoustic guitar, bass guitar, we have a saxophone inside, of course drums in the back, and 4 vocal mics. The keys has vocal, lead guitarist has a vocal. We have the main vocal for acoustic guitar, and then backed by drums. Interesting room, of course. You know, like most times when you're sound checking in an empty room, everything's reverberating. So once the party arrives, it should definitely cut down on that, and then we'll get everything dialed in. So again, I got my little front of house spot here. So now I have a home for while everybody's playing. All right, and once again, we have our sources on the mixer set up. So we brought in all of our local channels just in order. So I always patch
drums, instruments, and vocals. Because the wireless is hooked in, I always have 21 through 24 are always the wireless here. But other than that, I can just patch to all of the channels that I already have predetermined. And that way, most of my bass EQs, compression, all that stuff is set by default. Makes it easier to dial in. I can just do some quick adjustments, get everything adjusted in the monitors, and definitely helps with the efficiency of sound check, for not having to start from scratch and dial in, EQ, compression, and all of that from scratch. All low cuts and all of that are roughed in, and then I can adjust as we go. So we also have our lighting set up, and basically what we have again is running off a node from my front of house position. We have plugged into the router there, a DMX King Pro node that's going into a wireless DMX transmitter that also has a Chave DeFi transmitter in it. And so far, having those two transmitters close to each other has not affected anything, and we're going to keep experimenting with that at different gigs to see if it works out. But other than that, we have our color keys up at the top. We have some Chave battery-powered Easy Links as uplights on the drums. And then we have battery-powered Easy Links as the front mains there. And then we have the keys. The keys, I'm just taking, what he wanted to do is just a line out right out of his amp. So taking that, going into our Whirlwind DI combination Cat 5 box here. We also have acoustic guitar going in there. We have a lead guitar on their pedal boards. Lead guitars mic'd up. Drums, we have 2 floor toms, 2 rack toms, snare and kick. We also have a hi-hat mic'd up. And we have the acoustic guitar. He's going wirelessly again into that DI box there. And then we have a DI out of the bass amp. And we have a mic for the saxophone. And the mic we're using is our EV ND46. I really like these mics on horns, and I bought them before they came out with the Sennheiser Mini 421s. I may switch over to those at some point, but these are getting the job done. Between these and clip-on Beta 98s, mostly cover all the horns that I need to worry about. Here we are plugged in the back. So we have most of the feed coming from our Whirlwind drum drop, which we caught the back line with. And then we have our Cat 5 coming into the box here. And we're grabbing, I did plug it in case there were stereo keys, but he's actually running mono keys, so only one of these channels is carrying what we need. And other than that, we have a direct line for saxophone, picking up a acoustic guitar, electric guitar here, little USB light doing what it's supposed to. We don't have anything plugged into the convenient outlet down there, but down here in our current, we're running 5 wedges off of this power strip here. We're maintaining 120 voltage, and it looks like we're averaging, the current was about 1 amp. So I'm going to keep an eye on that too. I'm going to try and sneak up here and see where 5 wedges pulls off of this circuit. And I've run 6 successfully off of one circuit before. No problems there. So again, I was always curious what the amperage draw was, so I'm going to try while they're playing to get up here and see what that might end up being. Again, we're running out of the Stage Connect box, DN4816, plugged into the Stage Connect here at the top with a DMX cable. We have USB from the mini computer that's racked up with the router, and of course the control there too. And we're getting our background music here. The work party provided a playlist on Spotify, so we got that set up and we're ready to go. So now we're just waiting for go time. Alright, so we're all packed up. I guess I have to apologize again for not getting any video of the teardown. Just get to a point at the end of the night where I just want to pack up and get done. It took about an hour to pack up, a little over that. You know, was chatting with some people and taking my time, so let's call it an hour 15, which isn't bad with the extra lights and all of that, loading everything in by cart. But the gig itself, it was interesting. You know, like a lot of these private parties that are, you know, kind of more formal, things actually got delayed a little bit because there was an accident that held people up from getting there, so the food didn't get served till later, but the band went on time. So if there's some video where it looks a little sparse on the dance floor, everybody was still eating and still getting, you know, their pregame on at that point. But once we got into the second set later in the night, everybody was digging it. So a lot of fun, a lot of compliments from the band, compliments from the people at the venue. It was a tough room because yeah, it's like a big rotunda in a way, real high ceilings at points, and then just that stage with the arch there is getting a lot of stage bleed, and having acoustic drums and the guitar player like to be loud as well, but you know, having all of that kind of blend in with the mains sort of muddied things up a bit. But once people got in there and once people got moving around, actually toned it down a bit. I think the band got a little bit more comfortable and, you know, kind of eased in, and we had an okay sound by the end of it. Again, tough room, but that said, you always do the best with what you got and what you can with the tools you have. Really enjoying the Behringer wing, the wing rack. Again, it's just fun having some of that extra processing that it does. Again, I just love the patching. Just being able to put anything on any channel that I want, you know, kind of follow along with my festival patch, as I mentioned earlier. And I think I'm going to continue that process for a while. I'll keep an eye out looking on videos, see if anybody comes up with anything different. But so far, that seems to be my workflow, seems to be working well with the wing rack. So with that, we'll call it a gig. My windshield is just about clear now, so I can get moving and get on home. With that, thanks again for watching. Thanks for liking and subscribing. Again, I'll check out your comments. But with that, on to the next one. Thanks again.